people are secretly manipulating you.
Okay, so today we are tackling an absolute giant. A book that came out way back in 1936, has sold over 30 million copies, and is, somehow just as mind-blowingly relevant today as it was then. We are diving deep into Dale Carnegie's masterpiece, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And let's be clear, this isn't just about learning a few tricks for small talk. This is about fundamentally rewiring how you interact with every single person in your life.
Wow, okay, just stop and think about that for a second. The craving to be appreciated. He doesn't say a wish or a want, but a deep, fundamental craving. It's like being hungry or thirsty. And Carnegie's whole big idea, the one that everything else is built on, is this. If you can learn to satisfy that deep human craving in other people, you basically unlock the secret to, well, everything. Connection, persuasion, influence. It's the master key.
Exactly. That's the real question, right? It's so easy to hear a quote like that and just nod along like, yeah, makes sense. But how do you actually apply it when your coworker is driving you absolutely nuts? Or when you're trying to land a huge deal? Or even just talking with your kids? And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We are breaking down Carnegie's timeless wisdom into simple, actionable steps you can start using the second this is over.
Okay, so let's get into it. We've structured this as a climb up what we're calling the social mastery ladder. First, we're going to build the absolute foundation, just handling people. Then we'll level up to making people genuinely like you. After that, winning them to your way of thinking. And finally, we'll hit the top rung, the art of real leadership. Then at the end, we'll pack it all up into your own personal Carnegie toolkit. Ready to start climbing? Let's go.
So let's step on the first and honestly the most important rung of the ladder, the foundation. These are the 3 fundamental techniques for handling people. If you can master these, everything else becomes like 10 times easier. And here's the first big surprise. Mastering other people, it actually starts with mastering yourself. It all begins with your own reactions. All right, so principle number 1, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. I mean, on the surface, it sounds so simple, right? Just, be positive. But hang on, think about how incredibly hard this actually is. Our brains are practically wired to spot problems and point them out. I mean, just think about your last 24 hours. How many times did you complain about traffic or criticize a decision at work, even if it was just in your own head? It's our default setting, but Carnegie says it's completely, utterly useless. And to prove his point, he tells this absolutely wild story about a criminal named Two Gun Crowley. This guy was a notorious cop killer in New York back in the 30s. So he gets trapped in an apartment, there are 100 police officers outside in this massive shootout, and in that moment, what does he do? He writes a letter, and in the letter he says, get this, under my coat is a weary but kind heart, one that would do nobody any harm.
No way.
Yes, he genuinely saw himself as the victim, as a good person who was just defending himself. The lesson is just mind-blowing. If a notorious killer who caused all this chaos genuinely saw himself as a good guy, what chance do you have of convincing your coworker they loaded the dishwasher wrong? Criticism is just a dead end. And Nat just lays it all out. Wow, that's a total light bulb moment for me. I can think of a dozen times I've criticized someone, thinking I was being helpful, and all it did was make them defensive. It just triggers this ego defense thing. They didn't hear my advice, they just heard an attack, and their walls went straight up. So yeah, criticism doesn't create change, it just creates resentment. So, if we can't criticize, what are we supposed to do? And this brings us to principle number 2, the positive alternative. Give honest and sincere appreciation. This is the action that fills that void, and you really got to pay attention to those 2 words, honest and sincere. This is not about being a suck-up or laying on empty flattery. Okay, so what's the real difference between appreciation and flattery? Because I think people get this wrong all the time.
Right? Well, flattery is just cheap praise you give someone to get something you want. It's totally selfish. And you know what? People have a built-in detector for that stuff. They can smell it a mile away. But genuine appreciation, that's totally different. It's not about what you want from them. It's about what you see in them. It's unselfish. And that is what people are absolutely starving for.
Okay, so we've stopped criticizing, we've started appreciating. The third fundamental is to arouse in the other person an eager want. This is so crucial for influence. You can't just tell people what to do or demand what you want. You have to frame it in terms of what they want. You have to make them want to do it for their own reasons. Exactly. Carnegie uses this great metaphor. He says when he goes fishing, he personally loves strawberries and cream. But for some strange reason, fish, they prefer worms. So when he goes fishing, he doesn't bait the hook with strawberries, he baits it with what the fish wants. And it's the same with people.
Carnegie's point is that this applies to literally everything. Stop talking about what you want and start baiting the hook with what they want. That is the secret to getting anyone to do anything.
All right, here is your first practical challenge. Sometime in the next 24 hours, find one person, a colleague, your partner, a family member, and give them some honest, sincere appreciation for something specific they did. And this part is key. No buts. Don't say, you did a great job on that report, but next time. None of that. Just pure, simple appreciation. And just watch what happens.
Okay, we've laid the foundation. Now let's climb to the second rung of the ladder. This is where we move beyond just handling people effectively and into the realm of making people genuinely, truly like you. These are Carnegie's 6 ways to charm. So here they are, the 6 ways to make people like you. We're going to touch on each one. Become genuinely interested in other people, smile, remember their name, be a good listener, talk about their interests, and make them feel important. Now, I know some of these might sound like common sense, but trust me, when you start combining them, the effect is almost like a superpower. First up, become genuinely interested in other people. And again, the key word here is genuinely. You cannot fake this. We all know when someone's just asking polite questions while looking over our shoulder for someone more important to talk to. You have to cultivate authentic curiosity. Carnegie talks about Theodore Roosevelt, who would literally stay up late reading about whatever subject, say bird watching, he knew his guest for the next day was interested in. That level of dedication showed he cared, and people just adored him for it. Principle 2 is smile. Seriously, that's it. It's so simple, it's almost laughable. But just think about it. Who are you more drawn to? The person with a scowl or the person with a warm, genuine smile? A smile says, I like you, you make me happy, I am glad to see you. Carnegie points out that your expression is way more important than the clothes you wear for a first impression. A smile costs nothing, but man, it creates so much.
This next one is huge. Carnegie says, remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. A person's name is their identity. It's them. When you remember their name and you use it, you're sending this incredibly powerful message. I see you. You are an individual. You matter to me. I mean, think about how you feel when someone you just met remembers your name. It's a tiny thing that makes a huge impact. It's a massive compliment. You know, what's so interesting here is how it completely flips our idea of a great conversationalist. We think it's someone witty who tells amazing stories. But Carnegie says the best conversationalists are actually the best listeners. Your goal isn't to impress them with your stories, it's to be impressed by theirs. Encourage them to talk about themselves, ask questions about their passions, and just listen. They will walk away thinking you're the most fascinating person they've ever met. That's crazy, right?
Okay, time for your second challenge. This one has 2 parts. In your very next real conversation with someone, make it your mission to learn their name and use it at least once, naturally. Then, part 2, ask them one open-ended question about something they seem passionate about and just listen to the answer. That's it. See how it changes the entire dynamic of the conversation. Now we're moving up to rung 3. So we've laid the foundation and people are starting to genuinely like us. Now, and only now, can we start to effectively win people to our way of thinking. This section is all about the art of persuasion, Carnegie style. Wait, what? The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. So you're telling me you should just let it go? Even if you're right? Even if the other person is completely, totally, objectively wrong?
That's what Carnegie says. He says 9 times out of 10, an argument ends with both people more convinced than ever that they are 100% right. You can't win. If you lose, you lose. And if you win, you've made the other person feel inferior, you've hurt their pride, so you still lost.
And this builds right on that last point. You should never, ever begin a sentence with, well, actually, or you're wrong about that, or let me prove to you. The second you say that, it's a direct challenge. It is a blow to their intelligence and their ego. Their immediate subconscious reaction is to dig in and defend their position, no matter how weak it is. You've closed their mind before you've even started speaking.
Oh, I love this one. It's so counterintuitive, but so powerful. If you realize you're in the wrong, just admit it, but don't mumble it. Admit it quickly and emphatically. There's something incredibly disarming about it. When someone is gearing up for a fight and you just say, you know what, you're absolutely right, I completely messed that up, it just takes all the wind out of their sails. It makes them want to be generous, and a lot of the time, they actually jump to your defense. It's amazing.
Carnegie uses this wonderful phrase for this. A drop of honey catches more flies than a gallon of gall. You can't force someone to agree with you. A combative approach just creates resistance and resentment. But if you begin in a friendly way with that drop of honey, you show them you're an ally, not an enemy. You disarm them. You create a cooperative atmosphere, and that opens their mind to your ideas. The outcomes are just night and day.
And there are so many more incredible tactics in this section. It's a whole toolkit for influence. Get them saying yes, yes, right from the start. Let them do most of the talking. And this one is brilliant. You let them feel the idea is theirs. Instead of pushing your solution, you just plant a few seeds and let them discover it themselves. Always try to honestly see things from their point of view. And appeal to their nobler motives, their sense of fairness and honor. It just keeps building. It's awesome.
Okay, your third challenge. This one might be tough. The very next time you feel that pull, that urge to argue with someone, just stop. Take a breath. And instead of launching into your counterpoint, find just one thing in what they said that you can genuinely agree with. Start there. Say something like, I completely agree with you on that point. And just see how it totally changes the direction of the conversation.
We've reached the top of the ladder, rung 4, the art of leadership. This is where everything we've learned comes together. And this isn't about being a boss or having a fancy title. It's about how to change people's behavior and attitudes, how to truly lead without causing offense or resentment.
The principles of leadership are really a masterclass in humility and respect. A true leader always starts with praise. When they have to correct someone, they do it indirectly, like a dentist who starts with Novocaine. They talk about their own mistakes before criticizing someone else. They ask questions instead of giving direct orders, which inspires creativity. And crucially, they always let the other person save face.
This really hit me. Praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. Just think about how incredibly motivating that is. We so often wait for someone to be perfect before we praise them, but Carnegie says to praise the process, praise the effort. It's like watering a plant. That praise is the sunlight and water that helps people grow in their confidence and their skill.
This is some high-level psychology right here. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. So if you want a messy employee to be neater, you could say something like, I've always been so impressed with how organized and tidy you keep your workspace. You're giving them a positive trait to embody. And because people want to be consistent with how they're seen, they will start to strive to live up to that reputation. It's powerful stuff.
And the final leadership principles really focus on empowerment. Use encouragement. Don't tell someone their mistake is a total disaster. Tell them you have faith in them and make the fault seem easy to correct. And finally, when you ask someone to do something, frame it in a way that makes them happy to do it. Show them the benefit. Give them a special title. Make it a fun challenge. It's all about inspiring, not commanding.
Okay, we have climbed the entire social mastery ladder. You've got the concepts, but there are a lot of them. So, to make sure they stick, it's time for a high-speed recap. This is your complete Carnegie toolkit. Ready, Leo? Let's do this.
Okay, the foundation. 1. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. 2. Give honest, sincere appreciation. And 3. Arouse in the other person an eager want. Got it?
Next, the 6 ways to charm. 1. Become genuinely interested.
2. Smile.
3. Remember their name.
4. Be a great listener.
5. Talk in terms of their interests.
And 6. Make them feel important and be sincere about it.
Now for the persuasion tactics. First, avoid conflict. Avoid arguments. Never say you're wrong and begin in a friendly way. Next, open their mind. Get them saying yes, let them do the talking, and try to honestly see their point of view. Finally, inspire them. Appeal to their nobler motives, dramatize your ideas, and throw down a challenge. Whew, that's a powerful list.
And finally, the 9 rules for leadership.
Start with praise.
Correct indirectly.
Talk about your own mistakes first.
Ask questions.
Let them save face.
Praise every improvement.
Give them a reputation to live up to.
Use encouragement.
And make them happy about doing what you suggest.
That is your complete toolkit.
Okay, that was a lot. We have just covered over 30 of Dale Carnegie's principles for a more successful and fulfilling life. But, knowing this stuff isn't the same as doing it. Applied knowledge is power. So the final question is for you. Don't try to do them all at once. Pick one, just one that really resonated with you, and decide right now how you're going to practice it tomorrow.